Greetings, brothers. Welcome to the Blood Angels Commander channel.
Hello friends, good evening. How's everybody? Starting with some transfers tonight. Look at these sexy ones, they're quite yellow. I'm not going to be using the Blood Angels Tactical Squad. I think we might use this one. Or this one might work actually. How's everyone? You having a good Saturday? Look at these Ultramarines transfers. I don't know why I've got these. They're not worth the paper they're printed on. March for McCraggie's over, my friends. Good evening. Damien, how you doing? Robert, good evening. Lee, hello. To hit to wound. Daryl. My god, my pile of shame is looking massive. Yeah, join the club, Daryl. My pile of shame has been massive for about 3 years. I haven't even snipped a single model out of the Strike Force Augustus box. Not a single model. What I'm doing first is I'm going to try and find some transfers for this Terrax. And I do have the sexy Forge World transfer sheet here. So, I'm going to do... if you don't use Microsoft for transfers, then get yourself a bottle of it. It's amazing. I'm open to suggestions. I'm just seeing what other old Blood Angels transfers I have on top of this. I've never done transfers on a Terrax. Do I recommend Artist Opal brushes? I like everything about the Artist Opal brushes except the price. They're quite expensive. They do generally last pretty well though. The ones that I've had have lasted... I feel like they've definitely lasted pretty well. I usually do my vehicle command colours like... the yellow blood drop. I think that's Second Company. So I think my choices really are... something off this sheet you see in front of me, or the Forge World sheet. I'm going to do a bit of both. So hold on, there's like 2 more transfer sheets in here. What else have I got? That's more Ultramarines. That's Necromunda. Oh, that's an old transfer sheet. Look at that one. Blood Angels Death Company transfer sheet. Wow. Blood Angels Terminator transfer sheet. That's an old one too. Wow. The 3 red blood drops is pretty cool actually. I forgot they even did those 3 red blood drops as transfers. The problem with these old transfer sheets, you can tell how old they are by the colour of the paper. That one says 1993, that one says 1994. It's a real bitch to get them to come off the paper now. You have to put them underwater for so long. And sometimes, like, when they do eventually come off the paper, they rip and they break. I'm definitely going to need some of these standard Blood Angels blood drops. But yeah, so my thought was to try and finish this Terrax, which really just needs some transfers done, and then the Terrax will be finished. So finish the Terrax. And I suppose it depends on how many transfers I'm going to put on this turret, because I feel like it might take the whole night. My next plan after this, I think, is going to be my Gladiator Reaper. Or my Gladiator... Technically, it's my Gladiator Reaper, but it's magnetized, so I can swap out all the weapon options. So, I guess... While it technically right now is a Gladiator Reaper, it's just a... It's a magnetized Gladiator, so I can do whatever the hell I want with it. I'm not entirely sure of what I'm going to do here, transfer-wise. I want it to... Let's say, I think I want it to feel quite uniform. And I do tend to put, like... Sometimes I put numbers on. I'll probably take this 2 out here. Maybe I should take the 3. I don't suppose it matters what company it's from. Do you know what? I'll save the 2. I'm not super worried. Like if it's not like my models all need to be first company or second company or something like that. It's just to make them look cool, right? So I'll take that. I wonder if I want to take this big Aquila thing and put it across the doors. It's kind of tempting. I'm going to take a couple of yellow blood drops as well. Then I'm going to look at the Forge World transfer sheet too. Evening, Mike. How you doing? Do you use microsol, microset? Yeah, 100%. I've used that. I also use Laminium Medium. Don't know if you've ever used that. It's basically the Citadel paint with no pigment in it. So what you can do is once you've got your transfer set, you know, sometimes the transfers can be quite shiny. I just give a coat of like watered down Laminium Medium over the top of the transfers. I find that when you varnish them, that really helps as well. I don't know what I'm doing. Dirty Wizard's doing a big order from Element Games next Friday and he's going to use my link. I appreciate that, Dirty Wizard. Thank you for all the support you show the channel. It really is appreciated. You can't figure out how to apply transfers. Well, you'll find out in the next 10 minutes once I decide what transfers I'm doing. And honestly, dude, it's way easier than you think it might be. You just need to get yourself a bottle of Microset and Microsol. They're like less than $10 on Amazon, I would think. Yeah, I commissioned the boarding actions terrain, so Mike is... I didn't realise you made a start on it, Mike. That's awesome. I don't know when we're going to get to play boarding actions on the channel, but it'll be good to have some of the terrain commissioned at least. Alright, let me put this aside for a second. So I'm definitely going to use these. Right, and then what the hell am I using off the Forge World set? I'd like to use something slightly bigger. I wonder if I could fit one of these, like, banners that say, like, in Carmine or Sanguinius across one of the doors. I'm gonna say, like, well, let me bring the Terax over here and see what the side looks like. Would that banner fit on the door? It might just... Alright, we're going to try take one of those off. I'll probably use the other one on the Gladiator Reaper. Alright, so we've got this in Carmite banner. Got some big blood drops down the bottom here. Kind of tempted. I don't think I've ever used one of these. I'm tempted to try one of these. I mean, the Terex is kind of like an older model, right? Nothing says get Drillicust. No, nothing says that, Highland Phoenix, but that is a cool idea. I'm going to take one of these golden banners, golden blood drops. Alright, I usually use these little ones for dreadnoughts. There's definitely no space for something big like this on the Terax. There's probably no space for this sort of thing either. There might be space here. You see this little Blood Angels text? I used some of that text on my super heavy tank and it was pretty cool. I think I used like Sanguinius, or like, I think there was some other text here maybe that I used. I mean, you also get like tons of trim, but I don't think I can. I mean, I'm going to spend ages doing these transfers. I don't think I'd be bothered doing trim. I think I'll take this little Blood Angels. Alright, and then hey! Darryl, thank you. Oh, here we go. Adrian with 5 gifted subs. Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate it. Stuka says my videos are tempting him to jump ship from Space Wolves to Blood Angels. I mean, I would wait, honestly, because it sounds like in 10th edition you're going to get a lot more flexibility with your chapter, right? Like, way more flexibility. It sounds like you're going to get to pick your detachment abilities per faction. I think it's to try and balance the starters to bring us more in line with each other. So, but I appreciate the kind words, Stuka. You'd always be welcome to start Blood Angels detachment. You know that, right? Adrian, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs, guys. If you ever get a gifted sub, make sure you link up your Discord account to your YouTube account, and then you get into our members only Discord room. So you should totally do that. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. I wish there was a modern Blood Angels cheat this size. Yes, this, when I bought this, it was about $20. I think it's maybe 25 now. And I do sort of wish there was a modern sheet you could just buy like this. I've managed to use a lot of different bits to add a lot of flavor to my army that maybe other people don't have. So I think it's, I think this set has been worth it, but I can totally see why you would want a modern one. Yeah, Highland Phoenix, that would be good actually. Kind of wondering about one of these skull decal things. I'm also worried that I'm going overboard. How many transfers have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I did this, that would be 11 transfers. Does 11 feel overboard for a Terax Siege Drill? What's your membership goal for April? I thought I'd put it up. It should be 5. It should be 5. That's what I'm doing now. 5 new members per month, dude. I'm not greedy. I tried to put it up to 10, and the 1 month that I changed it from 5 to 10, I didn't get anywhere close to 10. So, 5 new members a month is the 69 transfers. 69 transfers will still be here next week, Fox. I'll make it 11. How about that? 11 transfers for a Terax Siege Drill. That's probably about as many as I put on my super heavy tank. But the difference with the Siege Drill is I feel like you got to put some transfers on the lower side as well, right? Because it's you know, it does have an up. It does have like one way is up, but the bottom or the sides of it, you kind of have to put transfers all the way around it, I feel like. Maybe. That's what I feel like anyway. Oh look, here's an old transfer sheet as well. The Blood Angels Bike Squadron. Can you even read that? Autofocus is a bit whack tonight. I'll see if I can fix it. Aiden, welcome. Dirty Wizard, you superstar. Thank you for the gifted subs. Dirty, you are a superstar, Dirty Wizard. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. The cool effect is putting down transfers, varnish it, then paint over it to expand, add more detail. I usually, so I just finished my squad of incursors, and what I do is, I don't paint over the varnish. I put the transfer on, then I do a coat of lamium medium, watered down, of course. Welcome to all the new memberships. The bot's about to go crazy. Do I have any Cataphractory Tartarus armor models? I do not, Joel. I kind of want to get some. Hey, Carl. Good evening. I thought that the what is it, like the 10-man squad that you get from the Horus Heresy? I thought that seemed like really good value. Like it's like 10 Terminators for barely much more than you would spend for 5 Terminators. Like Tartos or Cataphractory. I kind of also want Crimson Paladins. I've got so much of a backlog. That's why I've been using Mike. Mike painted the majority of this Terrax, by the way. The varnish seals everything up. Yes, but so does a coat of lamium medium, dude. Lamium medium is just another coat of paint. It's basically a translucent coat of paint, right? So lamium medium will do exactly the same as a coat of varnish, and then you'll just be able to paint over it as well, just the same. So trying to decide what I'm going to do first. Maybe I'll try and do the big one first. You have to get the Crimson Paladins, says Highland Phoenix. The Crimson Paladins are Finecast, right? I hate Finecast. I mean, I'm so happy that so many more models are becoming plastic, where you can actually use plastic glue. The last Redemptor I did in Finecast, sorry, not Redemptor, Relic Contemptor, was an absolute nightmare. I ended, like, at the end of that, I was just like, I don't know, sometimes I guess you can just have bad experiences with Finecast, and that last Redemptor I did was like the worst experience of my life with Finecast, honestly. What's the best glue to use on Finecast? I use, I think I've got the bottle behind me actually. I use this stuff. I feel like it's really not bad. This is like a tough impact gel. It sort of comes out quite jelly, and then it hardens in like 15 seconds maybe, and is really decent glue. But I still have problems sometimes when I do Finecast with it. I think it's just Finecast, man. You know, you have to wash the Finecast, right, to get all the like release agent and stuff off of it. And like, I don't know if I didn't wash the last Contemptor I did enough, but it was just a nightmare. It's like one of the legs just would not stick. I think both legs actually wouldn't stick, and I had to pin one of them, and then the other one I spent ages, like hours, trying to get it to look good and stick. Does anyone make their own transfers? I don't make my own transfers. I've seen some people freehand transfers. So everyone that just got a gifted sub, I mean, thanks to the guys dishing out the gifted subs. You guys are so appreciated. But everyone who got a gifted sub, you can use that to get into our members room on the Discord channel. So all you need to do is go into Discord, you go to connections, you link up your YouTube account to Discord, you get into our members room. Simple. I usually find these transfers work, the bigger ones usually work better with warm water. I'm using stone cold water, so maybe it's going to take a few minutes for those to thin out a bit. I always put a ton of glue and resin, then just leave it to sit for about 4 times as long. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just get unlucky, I feel like. Because I've done resin, like I did a falchion, which is arguably one of the most giant models you can get, and like, the falchion, a huge ton of that falchion is just like heavy resin. Like after I'd finished gluing it, because I didn't do any pinning or anything in my falchion, I was half expecting it to fall apart. I still half expect it to fall apart sometimes when I'm using it, because I was like, it's just so much resin. But it was absolutely fine, but then like this one last relic contemptor I did was just an absolute nightmare. Alright, are you going to decide to move today, transfer? I feel like the longer you've had the transfer sheets as well, the harder it can be to get the transfers to remove. I guess patience is the word here. Yeah, I mean that's moving a little bit now. Okay, it's loosening up. I feel like I can probably almost lift it off. Oh, don't mess it up. Alright, let's try. I'm going to try and put this on this door. I think it's going to have to go this way. It's going to be pretty tight fit as well, so I might have to do some jiggery pokery. Alright, it's coming now. Move this out of the way. Yeah, it's going to need a bit of love here to get it moved. So close to almost fitting in that space. Wonder if there's an angle I can get it at where it will fit. I mean, I might just take off the bottom trim a tiny bit. Is that my phone buzzing or is that something else? Are you guys hearing a buzzing? It's a tiny bit too big, but I think I'm going to leave it. I mean, the other option is I just cut off that last little tail bit. I do kind of want this one to work on here. Because there's doors like on every side, there's actually not much, there's not much like full-on real estate for transfers on this Terrax. I'm going to take off the trim though, I'm just going to try and snip it with my clippers. Might be easier with a pair of scissors actually. Hey, give me 1 second, I'm going to grab some scissors. Sorry. How am I doing this? Nice, 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 nice. I think that's gonna work. How about that? I actually couldn't have cut that more closely to the line if I tried. It was quite a bit of luck. Where's my autofocus tonight? Autofocus. There we go. It's alright, right? Bit extra liquid on there, but I can get rid of it. That one took way more. I mean, that's how easy it is to transfer. I mean, that's a giant transfer that's on a... I don't know, that transfer sheet must be like 4 years old. Putting on this music makes it sound like we're defusing a bomb rather than doing transfers. I mean, it did feel pretty epic. What do people think? What people do... Excuse me, Daryl says, what do people use to shade the wings on Sangre Guard? I did a Battle Ready Sangre Guard video, Daryl. If you search like Battle Ready Sangre Guard, you'll find it on my channel. But I use Celestia Grey for the base coat. I give it 2 coats of that. Then we do just like a standard all-over wash of Null Oil, right? Like Null Oil, you know Null Oil. If you don't know Null Oil, I'll be very surprised. And then I do a dry brush of Praxi White. So this is a dry paint. It looks something like that. If you want, I can show you what that looks like. Whoa, shit! Don't throw the Terex on the floor, John. But that's like one of the easiest 3 paint. You can do that. It's so easy. Is there a link to Discord server? Yeah, type !Discord and it should pop up. The stakes are higher than defusing the bomb. The stakes are pretty high when you're trying to get some of these transfers on, aren't they? Alright, is this little one ready to move? Alright, I'm going to do an easy one next. Oh. See, it almost folded back on itself there. You watch the video? Okay, Daryl. Yeah, just search. I was going to say, just search Battle Ready Sangre Guard. I think I'm possibly the only person that's done a Battle Ready video. I actually rewatched that video recently because I was like trying to watch it, trying to think like, hey, am I just bad at painting videos? When I watched it back, I was like, do you know what? I felt quite proud of that video. I felt like it was a good video. Even though not that many people watched it, I still felt like it was a good video. Oh, this one doesn't want to come off either. Come on, baby. I wonder if I could have put a bigger... No, I think the next size up would have been too big. Yeah. That was probably the biggest I could fit on there. So basically all you need to do is when you get these transfers on, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can put the micro sol down where you want the transfer to go. Or you can get the transfer down just using water and then put the micro sol on top afterwards. Both ways are pretty fine. Not happy with that, it's not in the center. Come on, go in the center. I definitely overanalyze some of these transfers though. I watched that video, says Chrono, saying it was quite good. Thanks, Chrono. I appreciate it. I followed your Sangre Guard painting video for all 20 of mine, and I get lots of compliments. Andrew, that's seriously awesome. Thank you so much for letting me know that, because sometimes when you make those painting videos, I feel like I'm not a painter. Like, I play the game for the competitive stuff, but I enjoy doing my battle ready stuff. I enjoy hanging out with you guys and doing the hobby, and you know, like I enjoy that. But like, I know I'm not professional. I know I'm not an artist, so I always used to say, people always used to compliment me on how my army looked, and I was like, are people just being overly nice? Well, if people are complimenting you as well, this one, after the other one not coming off, this one I randomly rub my hand across the paper and it decides like, I'm coming off. All right, I'm gonna put this other one here. Can't decide which way up. I feel like it would go that way, but I think if the text on that one is this way, then we're gonna copy the way that I've done it. I really hope that they make it so Dante is worth taking. I couldn't agree more. Slow 2x2. I really hope that Dante is like a monster and he's like an auto include for our army, and maybe there's a bit of customization around how you can run him or something. Like, I'm desperate for them to make Dante good. I would love to include him in every list. He's the first model in a while I've thought to myself that the second that model gets released, I'm taking the day off work to paint him. When I say the first model in a while, I think I've never done that before actually for a model. So I guess I must genuinely be very excited about Dante. We've been waiting a long time for him, right? Like a long time. So if you ever get it, Joel was saying that he's never done transfers before where you can't do it, something like that. If you ever get it to where you're not happy with them, put more water on them before they set. Sometimes it feels like you'd be putting on more than you need. Like here, this is a big transfer, so it feels like, and the bigger they are, the harder they are to get moved against once they're on. For example, this one's just taunting me. But see, like, it wasn't moving at all. You apply a little bit more water, you'll be able to get it moved around to where you're happy with it. I think I'm happy with it there. So once you're happy with it, maybe down a tiny little bit. Once you're happy with it, just apply the microsol over the top. You kind of need to let the microsol completely dry though, so probably what I'll end up doing on stream tonight is I'll just get the transfers on and I'll hit them with a coat of microsol, and then I'll probably let this thing dry for like a cup. Well, I'll let it dry overnight probably, and then tomorrow I'll hit it with the micro set, which is the one that actually really sets in the transfers. Let that dry for like an hour, and then I'll coat over it with the what did I call it? The Lamium medium coat. And then I might touch, like, sometimes the edges of the transfers, like, you can see the shine here. My autofocus can't deal with zooming in and zooming out, but you can see a shine on these edges. So sometimes I'll touch that up with the original color again, just to make it all like blend in a little bit better, I think. Alright, what's next? Are you excited about the new Shooty Redemptor, says Steven? That's a good question. Like, I feel that a new Shooty Redemptor, you're using the micro set and saw wrong way around? I might always get it around the wrong way. It actually doesn't really matter which way around you use them. Because I've used them around the wrong way before. Softens decals and improves adhesion. Settings decals to conform. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'll swap it around, but honestly, it doesn't. That's probably why it was so difficult to shift those ones. But yeah, I've used it the wrong way around multiple times before, so it doesn't even matter. You'll get very much the same finish if you like you'll get an easy enough finish. Like it's not hard to do the decals at all. I think that the microcell and microset make it like you can do it with just water, I guess, right? But they just make it that much easier. So like, let's say you did set them first, I guess, like I've just done. Just hit them with a coat of micro sol afterwards, or vice versa. As long as they get a couple of coats of the stuff, they'll be fine. 100%. I think when I first was doing them, I did them all the way wrong for like a year, then realized I was doing it wrong, so I must have been doing it right for a while, and now I'm doing it wrong again. I guess once you've done it wrong, you're always going to do it wrong. Cool. Alright. We'll swap it over. Thanks, Mike. It's written on the back. Yeah, you should be using microset first. Okay. But yeah, I mean, these ones look fine, right? They'll be fine. So it just shows, if you used sol first, you can still make it work. Probably why I had a little bit extra water. Okay. Should have just got you to do the transfers as well, Mike, huh? Would have been much easier. Yeah, I really hope they make Dante like really worth taking. Like you're just gonna want him. In yeah. Because like for the longest time for me, Dante's been like 50-50 if he's worth taking. I ran him to I think one tournament in 9th edition. In every other tournament I ran the captain on a bike. And I generally always felt like the captain on the bike was just better. He had more utility than Dante for the way I play the game. I always just felt like the captain on the bike just provided a little bit more. You know, he scored me a few more points, and people would always say like, "Oh, Dante gets a free heroics, an epic deed, and stuff like that." And I was like, "Yeah, but I don't need his free epic deed is basically if he dies." I'm like, I'm not really wanting my most pointy heavy character in the game, or my most pointy heavy character in my list to die. Period. Like, I just don't, you know. That's not what I'm looking for. I don't care if he gets a free stratagem if he's dead, right? Come on, move, you little swine. There we go. Oh. Sometimes you get them positioned perfectly, you just want to move a tiny little bit and then they move giant amounts. It's just patience, these transfers. I really think transferring is very easy. I mean, it's way easier than painting, Joel, if oh, this one's just annoying me. Sit in the middle. Right, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not sure I'm happy with it, but just want to sit exactly where I want it to sit. Right, that's fine. Where's Dante without his honor guard? I want to paint my own Dante, Mike. I appreciate the offer, but I'm definitely gonna want to paint and do my own Dante. People seem to think the Sanguinary Guard are bodyguard for Dante. They aren't. He's existed long before they did his models, and in the lore they existed as chapter elites during the heresy. So Dante used to have an honor guard, and in 2nd edition the honor guard used to basically be an assault squad that were painted red. Maybe you had some better weapon options. Then in 4th edition, I think it was, they started painting them gold. I'd actually forgotten that. Someone shared me a picture of 4th edition Codex, like just this week, showing that the the Honor Guard were painted gold in 4th edition. and I was like, oh shit, I'd forgotten that I'd genuinely just forgotten that they painted them gold ever. So Dante's bodyguard, so to speak, or the honor guard, not the Sanguinary Guard, but honor guard kind of don't exist anymore, right? Do I play 30k as well? I do not. I was thinking about getting the 30k starter set box, whatever you want to call it, but I have a metric ton of 40k stuff that is not finished, and I feel like that's a project for if I ever get my 40k stuff finished. Because I have some other tabletop board games, or tabletop war games, that are not finished, that I have armies for that are not finished as well. So it's like, I find it hard to justify starting Heresy when I have so much stuff for Blood Angels to do for 40k, and then like I have a whole other army for another game that I want to say is like 25% of the way painted, but definitely deserves like a lot more love. What did you say there, Highland Phoenix? They were red with gold helmets and skulls in second. Yeah, and then I guess so in 4th edition, though, they were actually gold. They were just like a golden assault squad, right? I know the box for Horus Heresy is amazing value, Gregory. Good evening, Gregory, by the way. Gregory's been providing all the cool thumbnail art you've been seeing in my weekly videos now for like the last month or something. So I just invited him to Discord today because some people were saying that his art is very cool and that they wanted to maybe use it as like a desktop wallpaper or something. I'm not sure what he's thinking or what's going on with it, but thank you again, Gregory, for the thumbnail art. It's definitely been very cool to have something a bit different. I actually wanted to try and find another blood drop and another 3 to put on that other door. I like that. That looks cooler than I thought it was going to look, the 3 in the blood drop. Or maybe not cooler. I don't know. Just looks better than I maybe thought. I had in my mind how it was going to look. I'm sure I've got another number 3. I've got a shitload of those transfer sheets. Sol is solvent. I appreciate you guys keeping me right. I honestly say to my wife sometimes that I would forget my head if it wasn't attached to my body. I guess that's why I forget which bottle of micro sol or micro set to use. Right, do I have another number 3? Cool, I do. I've got this other super old bloody... I wish they sold these transfer sheets on GW, you know that? I end up buying a lot of these on eBay. And they're expensive on eBay. Some people charge like this whole sheet. Obviously there's a lot of bits up here. A sheet like this on eBay can be as much as like 12 bucks. The Forge World transfers look amazing. Kevin, check them out. I mean, you get them on forgeworld.com, right? The Blood Angels transfer sheet. They'll give your your. I always talk about like wanting my stuff to look unique, and if nothing else, the Forge World transfers will 100% make your Blood Angels look quite unique, right? Not so many people will have the Forge World transfer sheets. I feel like, do you know what? I've faced up against a lot of Blood Angels armies at tournaments and stuff, and I feel like I'm the only one that ever took the plunge and bought that Forge World sheet, and I don't know why, because I think it's good. I like it. I think it's really good. Carl says he loves the thumbnail. Well, that's Mike. Mike painted 90% of this Terrax for me. All I did was painted the drill tip a different metal and painted these over basically, and then put some of the wiring in the back. Just to break up, like, because there's just a big blob of one color there at the back. So yeah, I've got Mike to thank for the thumbnail on this one. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I was gonna say I'm gonna do another blood drop over here. I think this is actually gonna. I think I'm actually gonna use more than 11 transfers here. When was the last time you played against Blood Angels? That's a good question. I was at a tournament where someone else was using Blood Angels last year, but I never actually played against them. I was at a tour, like, he was more towards the bottom end of the tournament and I was on the top tables. But there was another Blood Angels player at the tournament. I was kind of thinking, like, because he was running a much more stereotypical Blood Angel list, because, you know, like, I always end up taking, like, a good amount of shooting in my lists and stuff and sort of balancing it. And I was thinking to myself, if we do fight, this will be really interesting, because my Blood Angels lists are not always so stereotypical of, like, the current meta, right? Because I think I've said before, I quite like making army lists and figuring stuff out. I don't like just conforming to what's the strongest. Werty says he never uses transfers. Happy to send you all of mine. Werty, I'll take them, because like I said, I'm kind of sick of paying $12.99 for $12.99 for a set of transfers on eBay. But yeah, send me a photo of what you've got. Maybe we can work something out. I use transfers on all my guys. It's kind of my step for, like, I get to a point with my models where I'm like, right, I think I'm sort of done, but I'll still see imperfections in them because I'm a perfectionist, I guess. Even though I'm not that good a painter, I'm still a bit of a perfectionist, I guess, in general. So I'll see. Perfection is the enemy of progress, though. Come on, sit. That'll do. It's like, that'll do. I'm just about to stop it, and then it just moved. The last fucking brush stroke moves it. God damn it. Alright, that's good now. Don't move. Don't move. Alright, this one's messing with me as well. Alright, there we go. Whew, getting there. What we got next? Another number 3, I think. And another one of these. I use masking tape stencils if blood drops and simple Blood Angels symbols. I used masking tape when I was doing, like, crosses for, like, Death Company and stuff. Like, on my I was actually painting all my Outriders in Death Company colours. Spoiler, Outriders look totally dope in Death Company colours. I might actually end up painting some Outriders on stream soon. As much as I think they're a gas unit in 9th edition, I think Outriders might be really good in 10th. Perfect is the definition. Perfect is definitely the enemy of finished. It is. Alunda, good evening. How you doing? Brayden, what's happening? Good evening. Good evening, everybody. So many people in stream tonight. Nice to see you all. How's things? It's almost turned to summer here in Scotland, which has been really nice. So we took the kids out to Loch today, and it wasn't freezing for a change. It was actually just really... I mean, it was kind of a sheltered Loch because I knew it and I've been there before, but it was nice to finally get out. One of my biggest passions really is, like, hill walking outside of 40k and stuff, so yeah, I was really pleased. I love, you know, April kind of is the month that you can start going walking here in Scotland. Before that, it's kind of too cold and the weather can change too quickly. April can still be a bit dodgy. Even May can still be a bit dodgy for weather in Scotland. But yeah, no, it was almost up to double figures in terms of temperature today. I think it was 9 degrees at peak. So it's like, it was good. I think that would be cool. Death Company Outriders, alternative to jump packs. I think they're gonna look super cool. Like, let me show you one while these transfers. I've got them in a drawer just over here. Let me show you one, because I think they're gonna. I've got 6 of them because I bought 2 sets of Indomitus. One drawer. You know, it's been so long since I used them. Thank you so much, Hangout. 5 more gifted subs. Guys, I'm going to smash my membership goal in one day. You guys are awesome tonight. What's happening? Pac-Man says thoughts on 10th edition. I'm super excited. I think it's going to be the most balanced 40k has been for a while. I think it's going to be the best place Blood Angels have been in for a while. And like, some people argue like, oh well, Blood Angels won a bunch of tournaments in 9th edition, and I mean they did, but like Blood Angels were super terrain dependent in 9th edition. So if you weren't playing in a tournament circuit where you've got all that lovely terrain on every table, which I think a lot of people aren't, then honestly don't think you're doing that well. I know that I went to a lot of events where terrain, you know, like I saw pictures of like, what was it? I saw a picture of like a board in Canada with like 14 pieces of obscuring terrain on the board, and like the board I'm playing on has like 8. I really want to find the Outrider. I'm trying to think where it is. I think it's in that one drawer that I can't access easily. It was in that one drawer. Check this. So this was going to be... I think this is going to be super dope. I really do think it's going to be dope. He's dusty. I'm going to need to hit him with the spray can. So this is what I use masking tape for this X. I'm not really happy with this X. This was... like, I don't have an airbrush, so it's a bit of freehand and a bit of masking tape to try and make it look like an X. But I thought I'd stick like one of those white transfers right over the top of that. But like, I guess I got a Death Company shoulder pad on this guy. This is actually a Sanguinary Priest chainsword. I didn't even remember that I'd done this, to be honest. But this was like me converting them to Death Company. So he's got a Sanguinary Priest chainsword arm. He's got one of those like Death Company accents here. He's got a little Death Company thing on top, or a little Blood Angels thing on top here. I guess that's an Outrider helmet. I don't remember what Outrider helmets look like. I don't play Outriders. I've not played them. These were like the first models I painted in 9th edition, right? I was so excited when it was like, oh my god, we're getting like Primaris on bikes with chainswords and the devastating charge. And I was so excited about them. And then I got them to this point. Probably played with them in like 2 games and was like, yeah, they suck. And then I've put all 6 of them in a drawer for like 3 years. So I'm going to bring these guys back. I really think that they're going to be good in 10th edition. And then, do you know what I should actually maybe paint is this guy. Here's my 10th edition Smash Captain on a bike, but am I going to need him if Dante's good, I guess is my question. He's a bit of a conversion too, in that he's got like it's a bit of a dreadnought on the back of him. That's a custom Chapter Master helmet thing. I don't even remember where I got that. I think that was a 3D printed helmet bought from eBay. Stuck a storm shield on top here because the seam on those Outriders, sometimes like the seam on those bikes sometimes is rubbish, right? Like you can see the seam right down the middle. So I was like, fuck that. I'm not having a seam on my character, so that's where the storm shield went. Daniel, how have I been? I'm good, man. And then I think this might be a Death Company Thunderhammer. I honestly don't remember whose Thunderhammer it was. I'm even better now that I can paint and do shit again because my arm has... I'd say like my arm's like 90% healed now. I filled the seam with milliputs, says James. Yeah, that was a good idea, James. Those seams on those Outriders. He would make a good Death Company captain on a bike. I've got a Death Company captain on a bike and I magnetized him with like all 3 weapon options. So I've got one that can have a power sword, a power sword, what else did he have? A chain sword, or I think a Thunderhammer. I think those were the 3 weapon options I went for. Oh shit, the transfer just folded on me. Can I fix it? Oh, that's me not paying enough attention. Might be able to fix it, might not. We fixed it. So even if the transfer folds on you and you think you're fucked, look at that. That's why I don't think transfers are hard at all, Joel. You just need some practice. Pick a model you don't really care about. Pick some of those Ultramarines transfers that everybody's got loads of, right? Because no one wants Ultramarine transfers, right? And then just slap a bunch. Do like the knee pads and do like the shoulder pads. Do all the transfers you'll find difficult. And then when you actually come to like transfers, I find them generally quite easy. Send me your half of the Tyranids box. I mean, send me your half of the Space Marines box, Stephen, and we make it work. I don't know what I'm going to do with my Tyranids box. I'm going to try and find someone that's willing to trade the Tyranids half for Space Marines. That's what I did in Indomitus. I traded my Necron half with someone that wanted the Necrons, and it worked out pretty well, so try and do the same again for sure. I hope Outriders are really good, says Daniel. Like the models. Not Daniel, sorry, Braden. Yes, I kind of agreed, Braden. I thought they were really cool models. I just found them really lackluster on the battlefield last edition. So I'm the same. I really hope that they've made them. I really hope that they see some play for Blood Angels.
you know, like fast moving infantry is what we're all about. So that's why it made sense that, like, for me anyway, I was like, these are going to be a really good squad for Blood Angels. And then I tried them in a bunch of games and was like, wow, these guys just, they don't really survive. They don't really do the damage output I'm looking for. So I kind of put them on the bench for 3 years. But that's the thing I always say about 40k is, like, yes, you know, models go onto the bench sometimes for years, but they will come back. Like, nothing you buy will be wasted. I'm getting frustrated with this damn transfer. Alright, I think that's close enough. Are some transfers like a bad batch or something? I've never struggled putting on the yellow blood drops. It really depends on how old some of these transfers are. Probably 15-20 years old, Cruiser. I know that some of those old sets that I had, like the Death Company transfers, they'd say 1993 on the transfer paper, so they're like 30 years old. So yeah, I think it's just how long have you had them, maybe. Normally they're fine. I would say any transfers bought in the last few years are fine, but if you've had them for a crazy amount of time, and that's the problem. Like, I don't have dates on a bunch of these sheets, so some of these are probably a couple of years old, some of them are probably 10, 15, 20 years old, who knows. When I used to collect Warhammer when I was a kid, I didn't do any transfers when I was a kid. I think it was probably because I just wasn't a very good painter, so I didn't really feel the need to do transfers. Whereas now, I guess I feel the need to do transfers. Our proxy is allowed in tournaments, trying to find cheap alternatives to a Tarax drill. The Tarax would be hard to proxy because it's such a custom size. Proxies are allowed if you ask your tournament organizer, but like sometimes, like the Tarax is going to be such a difficult one to proxy because it's base, it's going to be really difficult to guesstimate, because that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to essentially guesstimate the base size, right? This song is always on in my live streams, and I have no idea what it's called, but I dig it. It's some sort of like atmospheric industrial thing. It's just on like my royalty-free playlist. Whatever song it is, I dig it. Apparently no more Forge World models are making it to plastic. Really? I find that hard to believe. I was convinced they were going to do more stuff into plastic. I imagine the plastic stuff is sold pretty well, right? Because, like, people are like me, people hate working with the Finecast. Have I got any more tournaments planned? No, the last event I went to was really good actually, and I really enjoyed the event, but apparently my wife really didn't enjoy having the 2 kids all weekend by herself. So I'm on a bit of a timeout from events, reluctantly, probably for like 6 months to, well, probably like 9 months, until like my son is older than like 2 years. He's like 1 year and sorry, 1 1/3 years old at the moment, and he's a bloody nightmare. He needs... Well, I wouldn't say he's a bloody nightmare, but at night time, like at bedtime, he just doesn't want to go to sleep, and you end up having to spend like 3 hours rocking him, and it's a lot to do on your own without any help from your partner. So until he's sleeping better, I guess I'm basically... My wife probably would let me go to a tournament if I really, really wanted, but it also feels a bit like a dick move, so I'm just not doing it, I guess. I really wanted to go to another event and run Guilliman, because I had so much fun playing with Guilliman, and I feel like if I'd had a few more games, I could have maybe challenged like pretty high level with that list with Guilliman in it. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to wait. So that's where I am. So I will get to a tournament probably within the first season of 10th edition. I imagine I can go to an event, but like just need to let my son be a little bit older. Evening Campbell, how are you doing? Slow 2x2 says, I guarantee they'll do more Forge Roll Plastic. I think they will. I really think they'll do more Forge Roll Plastic. We always get a whirlwind and a hammer in the chat. You guys love your Gladiator Reaper, right? So tell me this then. If you've read the same stuff that I've read on the Warhammer community website, where they've said in almost as many words, right? They basically said that... How did they put it? Like, they've kind of said that, like, having a balanced army is going to probably be a good thing, right? Like, that's going to... I feel like a balanced army is probably going to benefit you a bit in this new edition, right? Like, they've said that in as many words. So, if they've said that, my question to you guys is anyone going to run Battle Predators? And is anyone gonna run Gladiator Reapers? Because I mean, I'm doing it. I'm out there. I'm running the Val Predators when everybody else is running friggin' 3 squads of Death Company and 3 squads of Sanguinary Guard, and there's no variance in their lists. Not that I'm bitter about that at all. Right? When everybody else is doing that in the competitive scene, you've got me rocking up to tournaments with like Reapers and Val Predators. Anyone in chat doing that, or am I just the only one? Corzer's buying a Ball Predator next. Nice, nice. You know that if you magnetize the Gladiator... Sorry, did you say you're buying a Ball next? No, you're buying the Reaper next. Sorry, if you magnetize the Reaper, you can have all the weapon options. You don't have to be stuck with just one of the weapon options. You can do all of them. So like my Reaper, you can take off the turret and swap out for any... So I can run the Lancer, the Valiant, or the Reaper. Which is very cool. Andrew Jarman's building his second Reaper this weekend. Nice. And have you ran one much, Andrew? You enjoyed it? I think maybe, like, I have a lot of things, like my wish list for models I need to complete for 10th is pretty heavy, I suppose, now. But like, I think I want to complete the Outriders, I want to complete my Val Predators. I have the Reaper sitting on my desk next, so as soon as I get a few more transfers on this guy, I'm probably going to pick up that Reaper. I don't know if I'm going to be able to start that tonight, because it's 10 past 11. 10 past 11 already? Motherfucker. Oh, excuse me, my language. Time flies when you're having fun. CJ's got 2 balls, 3 Vindicators, and 4 Razorbacks. I'm not so hot on Razorbacks. So you're magnetizing one Reaper and you're magnetizing one Gladiator and having the other one just a full-on Reaper. That's a cool idea, actually. I could get on board with that. I don't think you'd ever want to run more than like one Lancer or one Valiant, but you might want to run more than one Reaper. I could get... Yeah, that sounds cool. There's no real risk in buying a Whirlwind before 10th, says Daryl. I mean, it's impossible, Daryl, to say what is going to be and what is not going to be in 10th, man. So many people, like the YouTube comments this week, I've had like 5 people ask me, like, hey, John, do you think I should buy Sanguinary Guard before 10th edition? Or, hey, I'm thinking of getting into Blood Angels. is it safe to buy Sangreguard? And I'm like, man, I got no answers. No one at Games Workshop tells me shit. So, and I mean, I asked them that. I don't know if you guys know Nick from the Warhammer Plus channel. Nick Baton. He's like does all the battle reports on Warhammer Plus. He's in those Meta Watch articles as well. I mean, I tweet the guy all the time. He's probably sick of hearing from me because I'm like, I asked him this week straight up. I was like, can we? I can't remember what he posted, but I was like, hey, can we get some leaks? You know, send them my way. I want leaks for like Dante or whatever. Steven says he's not spending another $1 till 10, just painting up my unpainted stuff for now. That's probably the best advice. If you have a backlog, like I have right now, do as much on your backlog as you possibly can. Like, get onto that backlog, give it hell. That's probably the best advice. If you're newer and you don't have a backlog, then I don't know what to tell you, I'm sorry. If I had any answers, I would share them. Would you rather your children grow up to be Blood Angels player, or would you rather have more variety in the house? I haven't really thought of that. I don't think, like... I'm trying to let my kids decide what they want to do. So I don't know if I'm even forcing them to play 40k. I mean, if they want to do it, I'll 100% support it. If they want to do Blood Angels, I'll 100% support it. But I'll probably let them pick whatever happens. Oh, I just fucking moved those other transfers, didn't I? God damn it. That's the trick to not do when you're doing a big multi-model like this. You gotta be careful. These ones apparently were not dry. Or not dry enough. Shit buckets. Alright, I might have to put these ones back on and then let some shit dry, because I've got too many transfers on here and I just undid some of the work I did earlier. This is the problem with a vehicle that's like got 5 sides to it, I guess. Moved this one as well. I moved 3 transfer there. Don't panic. Yeah, exactly. There is a finite point with some of these things when you're putting a lot of transfers on it. Even if when you're doing Marines, like if you're doing both shoulder pads and the knee pads, I find sometimes it's best to just do like both shoulder pads first, or like a shoulder pad and a knee pad, because if you ever touch it on the other shoulder, you just take the transfers right up off on your fingers. So I think it's probably safest to let what's on there dry, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, I've got 10 transfers on there so far. So it's getting to a point of like when I'm touching the model, it's very easy to fuck up and touch an area I've touched already. Because I had started this one, I'm going to finish it hopefully, and then that's going to be... I'm going to put this guy to the side. I was trying not to let him balance on the weapons. It's a big heavy model and I didn't really want him balancing on the little weapons that he's got. Be careful where you're touching. get a hairdryer? I mean, I would, but my 2-year-old's literally sleeping through this wall behind me, dude. That's fine. That's 10 transfers on it. 11 transfers, actually. Let's put it to the side. It can dry. I've got 4 that I cut off as well. So I was going for 15 transfers on this, I guess. It's a good start. Looking boss, thank you. I appreciate that, Highland. It's got a bit of love to go yet, for sure. I can't recommend Mike enough. If you guys have never, if you haven't seen his Facebook page or liked his Facebook page, Mike did a great job on the commission. Got done for Blood Angels. I don't know what my next commission is gonna be, because I do like painting the models myself. I'm just slow as shit. You guys know I'm a slow painter. So, but I am going to do another commission with Mike. At the moment, Mike has my boarding actions terrain, because I want to play boarding actions this year. If I was going to do it, it's not going to be finished this year. So, Mike's doing boarding actions for me at the moment. I think boarding actions would be really cool to do on the stream as well. It'll just be something very different, I guess. Imagine the first time your daughter comes home with a boy, it's an Ultramarines player. Let's not imagine that, eh? I use matte varnish on top of any transfer, says Miles. I use something. I use Lamy and medium, and then I spray all my models with varnish afterwards, actually. So I broke this the other night, and now I've glued it at apparently a shit angle. Yeah, a real shit angle. Dropped my tape measure on top of my tank. Live on stream as well. Felt like such a dumbass. Let me have a look at this tank. This was the next thing that I wanted to finish. I think this was pretty close. Mike painted this for me as well. The base needs a tiny little bit of love, but it's almost there. Have a great night, Pac-Man. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Blood Angels take pride in their art. That's very true, isn't it? While we wait for Dante, the second wave of release for Marines was 10 has leaked. Has it actually leaked? Like, do we know the second wave of Marines? I know Valrak was talking about it yesterday, or the day before yesterday, maybe? He was saying that there was a leak about a second wave of Marines coming in like September and August, but I don't know if he gave any details. By the way, has anyone seen House of the Dragon? Is it any good? I got a few conflicting opinions, and I did like Game of Thrones until like season 7. The last couple of seasons of Game of Thrones were a bit meh. But I've sort of been looking longingly at House of the Dragons, thinking that could be something I could watch. Anyone watched it? Any recommendations? Love it or hate it? Thoughts? So like the early seasons of Game of Thrones, so it's good then, or it's not good? Because Because the early seasons of Game of Thrones were great, were they not? It's good, says Andwest. I think we've seen Dante earlier than intended. 10th will lead with Terminators, and we'll get a drop of Assault Intercessors with Dante, probably with gold and red helmets. I mean, that'd be so cool if they finally get Primaris jump units. I'm possibly more leaning towards the hope, and this could be false hope. I was going to say, I'm more leaning towards the potential false hope of the fact that, like, it might be better, and this is just a might, I don't know precisely, it might be better if they sort of just let us have, like, how do you put this? Like, see what they're doing with the Terminators, where it's like new sculpts, but same rules potentially. So, like, you could still use Firstborn Terminators. Like, it might be better for Blood Angels if we don't get Primaris Sangre Guard. We just get, like, a new Sangre Guard kit, like a new sculpt. But you don't have to rush out and, like, buy 30 new Sangre Guard. You can use your existing Sangre Guard, right? I feel like that might be better for us. I mean, it probably would be better for most of us because we wouldn't have to rush out, and the rules aren't going to be drastically different, right? Like, Primaris models aren't amazingly different or better, really, than Firstborn models, right? Financially, it's way better. Yeah, I mean, financially, it's way better, but I mean, I don't know if maybe I'm motivated purely by financial. I don't think I am, though, because, like, I do get that, like, I've said many times, I enjoy painting Primaris models a lot more than I enjoy painting Firstborn models. So, like, if let's say they did that, right? For example, like, we know they're doing it with the Terminators. Like, we're getting scaled up Firstborn Terminators. So where I am at the moment, right? Let's say I think I have, I don't know, let's say I've got like 30 Firstborn Terminators. Probably about 30. If, for example, I get more Firstborn Terminators, like, I'm going to buy the new kits, right? I'm not going to be on eBay hunting for the old kit. I'm just going to get the new kit, and over time, I guess, my list is going to, or my army is going to evolve to the new size, right? Is that not just what's going to happen? So, like, would that not just be, you know, like, so at some point I will get the enjoyment of painting the new, bigger Terminators. I mean, arguably that'll happen even sooner, right? Because, like, I guess I mean, there's no chance that I won't buy the 10th edition starter box set. Even if I'm not interested in the box sets, because I don't think I was overly interested in the Strike Force Augustus box set, because I didn't think it was going to be that good for Blood Angels. I think it might be a lot better in 10th edition for Blood Angels, right? But I wasn't really interested for a 9th edition. I bought it for two reasons. One is because I figured I might be able to make a video or something on it, and people would want to watch that video. And also people want to know if it's worth buying, so I kind of have to buy it to tell you guys, hey, I think this is a great kit, buy it, or hey, don't buy this, I don't think it's great. So, like, based on that, it kind of means I'll definitely be getting the new kit, right? So I think that if they did that, like, hey, there's a new kit of Sangreguard, they're bigger, they're cooler, maybe they got a couple new weapon options. I mean, I don't think the Terminators are getting new weapon options, so maybe it's just they're bigger and they're cooler. How do you feel about that? Well, I mean, I think I feel pretty good about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm on board with that, right? And also, like you said, it's not a huge financial hit. It's not like, hey, you need to now go buy 30 more Sangreguard, or I guess 30 more Death Company, whichever way they ended up going. I'm not gonna, if someone tells me that, either way, I'm definitely not gonna love it, right? Do successor chapters have Sangreguard? Yes. I mean, Flesh Tearers can have Sangreguard, 100%. We often see Flesh Tearers run with Sangreguard, right? So, I mean, if you go successor chapter, you have access to basically everybody except the named characters. So you have access to all the models that are there, just not the named characters, I believe. I mean, in the lore, though, it does raise an interesting question, because arguably there might not be Sangreguard for some of those other successor chapters, but, I mean, on the tabletop, that's the way it works. Dirty Wizard says he's enjoying Mando. I've actually really enjoyed this new season of Mandalorian. More than I thought I would, because I thought I was kind of done with the whole Grogu thing. I just wanted to follow Mando. I didn't think he needed Grogu anymore. I thought it was good. Oh, spoiler, I guess, if you haven't seen Season 2 or whatever. I don't know how chat's on Mandalorian, because I haven't said Star Wars, but okay. I guess it's because I asked about Game of Thrones. We're on pop culture TV shows, huh? Night Pal, it has been a while. How are you doing? I do remember you, Mr. Breadnought. How's things? In the meantime, while you've been gone, Knight, the channel has just continued to grow crazily. We're up at like 12,000 subscribers now, which is kind of becoming mental. I mean, I think it is kind of mental already. New season is all over the place. Feels like Mando is doing side quests. Do you know what? New season, I've kind of fallen in love with Bo-Katan, honestly. I don't think I cared about her either, but I'm finding her story arc very interesting. I know she was in the Clone Wars, and I have watched the Clone Wars cartoon, but like I never took it that seriously. I remember that just from Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, I loved was it 2002, 2003 Battlestar Galactica, whenever that was. Feels like forever ago now. I really enjoyed that series of Battlestar Galactica. I actually have the board game. Another one of the many miniatures games or board games that I have not painted or spent enough time with, but I have the board game. So a few people have taken a break for the up until 10th edition. It feels like more people have taken a break towards 10th edition than I expected, actually. Now, I can understand why some people did, though 9th edition must have been a frustrating edition for some armies. Like, I was saying to Andrew the other day, we were just chatting about, like, he was asking me, like, hey, John, you excited for 10th? And I was like, yeah, I think it's going to be the best in terms of balance we've had in a while, right? Like, I think it's going to be the most balanced edition. And obviously, balance is really important for me because, like, the majority of my play is based around, like, tournament play or competitive lists or however you want to call it, right? And I was saying, like, it must have really sucked to be like an Imperial Fist player this edition, because like they had like it was like a 27% win rate or something for like a year. I'm like, oh my god, like if that was, you know, so like I can understand why some Blood Angels players like took a break when we were on like a mid 40% win rate. If you were on like 27% win rate, I think the only way you don't get frustrated is if you take a break from the edition and go play Horus Heresy or something else. I can't imagine how bad that must have felt in some of those matchups, right? You know, like you've got like Harlequins with their 70% win rate and you're playing them with your 27% Imperial Fists. I'd be like, why did I even spend money to come to this tournament, or why did I even spend my time and energy to paint my Imperial Fists? Like, this must have just been tragic. So I'm really hopeful that what they've done now, or what they've said about these new detachments for Space Marines, is gonna really help balance the playing field in certain situations. We're not gonna have any Space Marine army like, you know, down at the bottom or up at the top, right? Like Space Marines as a faction will be more uniform, and some people are very upset about that. They're like, they're turning us into Red Ultramarines. I don't think they're doing that at all. But I do think that they will have the ability now with those new data sheets and the new detachments that they talked about. I do think they will have a much better ability to basically say, like, you know, do like significant balance the data tweaks on Marines as a whole, and much quicker as well, because like you're not gonna have to wait. If you have a bad book, you know, like for Blood Angels, we had our codex right at the beginning of the edition, and then for the whole edition, bar like the first 6 months, our codex just felt underpowered against a lot of armies. You know, like you come up against armies that can do 9 mortal wounds with a single psychic power, and you're like, well, maybe if I'm really lucky, I can do 2. So I'm really hopeful about a lot of that. I don't think the chapters will lose their flavour. As long as they keep the chapter-specific units, which I can't see them removing, then yes, you might be able to switch out a few key things and make the chapter feel a bit different. But I think we'll still get the purists, right? Like, if you think about it right now, if you look at it right now, like, you could argue that, you know, that the Space Wolf successor chapter that a lot of people were playing, like Born Heroes Whirlwind of Rage, you could argue right now, like, as a Blood Angels player, you could be doing that. You could have been doing that for a while. In some ways, it's possibly, like, I did a video about it, saying how, like, this is possibly better than the Red Thirst in certain situations. But I feel like a lot of people still, like, myself included, just went like, yeah, but that's not the true Blood Angels way, so I'm not going to do it, right? So I think we'll still get like a lot of purists that want to really be a Blood Angel player or focus around what Blood Angels are, and maybe there's 1 or 2 chapter tactics that they'll really like hone in on. But then I also think that maybe for myself, where like I really want to win tournaments, when I go to tournaments I really want to do well, and it really frustrates me if I'm like, wow, you know, in this current meta, we're doing, like, Blood Angels Red Thirst is doing terrible. We're on I think someone said this week, Blood Angels at the moment are on a 41% win rate. right? Like, that's genuinely, like, if you come up against one of those 60% armies, you're generally back to the wall. It's going to be a really difficult game. You might just, you know, I said a few times I went to tournaments where I played against armies where, like, when I set my units up in the battlefield, I kind of thought to myself, I've kind of already, like, I can't win this game, right? Like, I know what I'm playing against. I know exactly what their army does. I know all their stratagems. I know basically all their units. I've played against very similar lists a bunch of times. So, like, arguably I'm in the best position I can be to beat this army. But unless this guy makes, like, a lot of mistakes against me, he wins this game every single time. Right? Like, and I remember one of the games that I had against Sisters of Battle, I thought to myself, like, the best thing I can achieve in turn 1 is to get rid of one of his Retributor squads, because Retributor squad's about 300 points by the time you add the Sharibs and the extra guys and all this. And I was like, the best thing I can do in turn 1 is get rid of one of the Retributor squads. So get a Forlorn Fury, kill a Retributor squad. That's like the best thing I can do. Well, what I actually managed to do was do the Forlorn Fury, kill the whole Retributor squad, and the Retributor squad were right next to another squad of, like, just regular Battle Sisters, so I was able to kill, like, 2.5 of those models as well, and I was able to wrap those models, so it was, like, the perfect turn 1. Turn 1 couldn't have gone any better for me. Like, it's exactly what I needed to happen, and guess what? I still lose the game by, like, 30 points. And that was, like, the best turn 1 I could have ever done, and it was a tournament as well, so it's not like the player I was playing against wasn't a good player, you know? I think he ended up maybe going, like, I think he ended up going 3-2 in that Sisters list, but I think he could have gone 4-1 maybe. It just depends, you know, depends on what he ended up playing against. But yeah, so I can understand why some people have been taking a break from this edition. That was a giant tangent. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, it was the same like when I fought World Eaters recently, when I was saying, like, us against World Eaters now, you can tell those codexes were written like 3 years apart, right? World Eaters just, like, outperform us in the combat phase so bloody hard. So if you're gonna beat World Eaters, and I did beat them, and I mean, I lost to them as well. I lost to Brett in World Eaters, like, the week before I went to that tournament, and then I so happened to beat them at the tournament. Obviously, playing Brett had helped me because I knew a little bit more about what to expect, but like, I had a Gladiator Reaper, and I positioned the Reaper really well, and I used it, I guess, reasonably well, but, like, if I'd just been a full combat Blood Angels army, I'm not sure you win that game. The reason I won that game is because I had a Gladiator Reaper hanging out with Gilliman all game, and it was like, I screened it with units so you couldn't get close to it. And the Gladiator Reaper was, like, 100% the MVP in that game. The Gladiator Reaper probably killed, like, 500 points of Berserkers. Or maybe, like, let's say 300 points of Berserkers and then, like, 200 points of 8-bound. God, 8-bound are good in combat, right? I have the same feeling against my friend Tau. I hide as best as I can, but with his redeploy, he can still blast me off the table. Yeah, Tau are notoriously difficult for Blood Angels to play against. I had some really tough games against Tau in this edition. And Tau really require us to have something to turn off Overwatch as well, I find. So it's like, you don't have a good way of disable Overwatch against Tau. I mean, you need suppressors or Whirlwind. I feel like you probably need the Whirlwind more than ever if you're fighting Votann as well, because Votann, their Overwatch can be pretty obnoxious. A Baal Reaper. Yeah, that's what we need, a Baal Reaper. You heard it here first, guys. What the Ball Reaper is just a Gladiator Reaper with another assault cannon stuck on top. So it's no longer a twin-linked assault cannon. It's a triple assault cannon. We have to come up with a unique name for that. Tri-linked. I like it. The tri-linked assault cannon on the on the Battle Reaper. But yeah, so this is why. Well, I mean, this is why I'm trying to finish as many units as I can for the next edition. I guess this Gladiator Reaper is like. This is the next thing I'm going to finish. It doesn't need much. It probably needs like 1 or 2 paint sessions. I would say like 1 or 2 hours, and I'm probably gonna start putting transfers on it. Honestly, Mike's done an amazing job on this. There's just a few little things that I'm going to change so it fits my army a little bit closer. I guess the red I use is really bright. I took the Whirlwind chassis in. Here's my actual Whirlwind that I did. And then there's the Gladiator Reaper right next to it. And I think I must just go really bright on mine. And look, there's that little banner thing that I showed you earlier on my other model, right? It just fitted on there. So I'm just going to do like some of these little nuggets here black, like I've done them on mine, just so it matches. But yeah. Daryl, thanks for hanging out tonight. Nice to see you. A Furioso Brutalis would be nice. Yeah, it's hard to know what they're going to do. It's really hard to know what they're going to do. I mean, I'm really happy that they finally shared Dante and that we are getting a Dante. Like, we've needed a new Dante sculpt for a long time, I feel like. So I'm really, like, I couldn't be more happy about that. But it does raise questions of, like, what are they going to do with a bunch of other stuff? I don't have the answers. For anyone that's new to the channel, silver vision slip for the driver. I don't think I really painted the vision slits. I guess this one's just black. I didn't really paint them in the Whirlwind. Or maybe put a wash on these lights to make them a bit darker. But yeah, this thing doesn't need barely any work. Or maybe make that vent silver or something. Didn't paint the underside of the turret. How heretical. I don't care. It's funny how reluctant I was to run the Gladiator Reaper. I've enjoyed running it a lot more than I thought I would. So I guess it just fits with Blood Angels, or the point costs just fit with Blood Angels. But yeah, who knows what's coming? Who knows? I certainly don't know. I'll be following all the rumors just like you guys, and I'll make some videos as soon as there's like, you know, as soon as Dante gets his rules leaked or announced, or however they're going to do that, I'll make a video on that 100%. And as soon as other things happen similar, I'll make videos on those as well. So Oh, round armor slit. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I suppose I could probably do that all metal as well. Yeah, why not? I don't think things have to match 100% Highland. I think if I wanted things to match 100%, I would have to not use a commission artist. And the thing is, even then, you would probably not end up matching 100% because it would be, you know, I finished painting that whirlwind like a year ago. So when you come back and try and paint something a year or two later, it's never going to match 100%, right? But it's just the general theming of the army matching is what I'm after. I mean, I think I could have honestly not done any painting on this and just slapped the transfers on it, and it would have been close enough. But I don't know. I feel like I want to just make sure I feel like it's definitely mine or something. I don't know. I was going to say at some point I probably want to enter my army into the best painted when I go to a tournament. So it'll suck to be like, is that your army? Did you paint it all? Yeah, for the most part. Alright, Knight, thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna head off here in a couple of minutes myself. It's coming up to midnight. I usually try and call it about then. I streamed till about midnight last week, and then Michael, because of daylight savings, woke up at 6:30. I was like, oh my god, Michael, go back to sleep. The kids apparently don't know the clocks went forward an hour, and they just run around at like 6:30 in the morning, and it's like, oh god. It's a Sunday. It's illegal to be up at 6:30. Alright, thanks to everyone that gave super chats tonight. I hope you enjoyed seeing the Terrax almost finished. I'll maybe need to do like one more bits and bobs on it, and then it's next is the Gladiator Reaper, and then after that it might be Outriders, it might be Firstborn Terminators, it might be Desolation Marines. There's a lot of things that need painted. The never-ending journey of me painting stuff super slowly continues. Thanks for watching tonight, guys. If you did enjoy tonight's stream, please leave a like button. Please leave the like button. Please click the like button. We'll be back tomorrow night for army lists. I think I've got 4 submissions, so we'll have 4 army lists. We'll be live about 10 o'clock tomorrow night for about 90 minutes, maybe an hour. Hour and 90 minutes. Scotland goes forward, Australia goes backward. Back to catching the end of your stream. I'm sorry, Brock, that sucks. The wife starts hoovering around the bed at 6 AM on a Sunday? Please, God, tell me why? Why? 6 AM on a Sunday, she's hoovering. I mean, I like being clean, but that's taking it too far, Dirty Wizard. She's mad. Okay. I mean, it's nice to have a wife that likes things clean, don't get me wrong. I love it when my wife cleans and does stuff like that, but if she was hoovering at 6 AM on a Sunday, we're having words. We're having words. I mean, well, I say we're having words. Probably what would happen is I would close my eyes and try my damnedest to go back to sleep. Skello says he just finished 10 firstborn Terminators. I enjoy the tan lines after the armor loss. Yes. Firstborn Terminators have a lot of detail in them, don't they? They take a long time. I'd get out of bed, unplug the Hoover, cut the plug, and go back to bed. Alright, Dirty Wizard, try that and report back. Let us know how it works. Alright, enjoy your weekend, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks for the super chats tonight. Thanks to the new members and the ongoing support. I really do appreciate it. Oh, is it Dyson? Then you hide the battery. Hide the battery. The Hoover's got a battery, right? Hide it. I mean, it takes like 90 minutes to charge. That gives you like another hour and a half in bed. Alright. Take care, guys. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow night. Peace.